And I found a nicely priced hotel that the venue actually helped me book, and they got $10 off for me. So I feel like I made out pretty well. Now, I'm talking to you guys today about me maintaining my guitars. This is my number one. This is a Jazzmaster. It's a Chris Morel. He basically carved the neck, set it up, cut the nut, wound these pickups. These pickups are not your traditional Jazzmaster pickups. They are DeArmond Dynasonics from a 60s Guild Dwayne Eddy, rehoused in Jazzmaster size casings. Plus I got a mirror pickguard because I love mirror pickguards. And the 6-way switch, even though I haven't really been using the out of phase or the series, I just like having it. You know what? It makes for better music when I can, when I have more options to switch between on these guitars. I generally like single coil guitars with, my guitars are generally all single coils. So I'm going to change the battery in my tuner too. There's a few exceptions of guitars that I have that are not single coils. Actually, just one. I mean, I do like the series in phase tone. There's certain with single coils. When they're combined to be a humbucker. Basically, because when you combine the two pickups, they combine to a humbucker. So it's like one giant. Instead of a humbucker here and a humbucker here, it's just one humbucker when it's series in phase. It's really fat sounding. I mean, I like the sound enough, but it's not as dynamic as I want for a guitar to be. Because I use a lot of pedals. I'm going to do a deep dive on my pedal board probably tomorrow. Let's get all the tools out that I need to change. Change strings on my guitars because it's time for all of them. I'll show you how I determine when it's time to change my strings. Some of you guys change your strings too much. I used to be guilty of that as well. I mean, the fact that I use flat wounds kind of hedges me to changing them less. But I'll show you guys first on the YouTube. Now take a look. You might not be able to see it here. I'll pull it off. Look at this D string. This D string and the G, when you get the fret divots on these strings, that's when you know it's time to change the strings. So I got the flat wound. I just need the, it's comfortable. Noah Hinoza. Cool shirts. Oh, thank you so much, Noah. Yeah, I like wearing Western shirts. Hank Topless. Oh, you're my friend from Tucson. We're going to be doing some shows together out, pretty sure in August we're going to do something. I might come to your area in May. If I can finagle something for May, I'll come to Tucson in May just because it's cool. Oh, wow. For those of you who remember when they made these sets, these chromes sets, like this is in the 2000s. That's how old they are. That's how infrequently. Well, I mean, I jump between different types of strings. I don't use one particular string the whole time. It's not like the way I generally do it is I got my more plain strings, the 14s and 18s. They're going extinct. All right, there's two 14s. Lemon oil for my fretboards. A thank you note from Ground Patio. I'm booked there April 9th. Tappy, hi. I will subscribe. Oh, thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm usually doing music content. This is music content. It's guitar maintenance content. Guitar maintenance is part of the way we make music. If you don't maintain your guitars, you ain't gonna make much music with them, will you? So, yeah, I'm booked there April 9th. Ground Patio Cafe is this awesome place in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And Mickey's the manager, the booking agent there. She's a great person to work with. This is my third time coming back there. Every time they're just solid. You can tell that I'm not the best at anything. I do YouTube because I talk about my life and I talk about the shit that I like to do. I'm not good at this. John Ritter coming out to the corner kicker right now. Left blows, dink, dink, dink. Down goes the Bobcat. Okay. And Tappy. Thank you. So, here we go. Almost there on my Jazzmaster. Let's first, because I know this tuner is ancient. Let's change the battery in this. I used the Capo tuner. The battery is ancient on this, so. There you go. These small lithium batteries. Angle it down. I would like. Oh, thank you. All right, so I angled. Oh, thank you. This hat is one of a kind. My guitar player Johnny wore this. He unfortunately passed away, and it was basically a gift from him to kind of all of us. Me, Matt, Brandon. I like your hat, bro. Thank you. So he gave this. So you know, I don't like to. That was great. Come on. Getting these batteries out is a pain. Yeah, so that's Johnny's hat. He was our guitar player. He didn't start the band, but when he joined, the band got really, really good. You know, when we started, it was just the three of us. You could tell something was missing. It was fun, you know, but early, you know, pre-Johnny Arkham's, it was definitely fun, but once he joined, the band really started to take direction, take form. You know, the spirit of the band was in his years. You know, the end of 07 through, and then he passed away in August of 2017 at 35 years old. Kidney failure. I feel really bad for the guy. But, using a string cutter to get this open. I feel it. Yeah, so this is Johnny's hat. There you go. Okay. Out with the old and with the new. There you go. So playing strings, I don't really. Wow! Thank you so much. Man, if you donate, that helps out. That helps cover the cost of travel in a pretty painful week this coming week. Not having gigs every day. All right, let's get the E off first, and then I know I gotta buy more. So I know some people like to change strings all at once. I like to change strings one at a time. Oh yeah, this string is dead. Especially on my electrics with these, Jazzmaster bridges. Oh my God, 50 or 200, both, all of them. I love it all, man. Hey, if you feel inclined to, that helps me out so much. So, with these Jazzmaster bridges, you don't want to. You know what I also want to do? While I have it off, I'm going to set this up and then. Then tomorrow, this thing's going to play like butter. Just one little thing. I got to lower the action by a quarter turn on this bridge. So I love locking tuners. Here's why. Check it out. Now, this isn't enough string space to. I mean, the Jazzmaster is a longer guitar. When you go from when you measure to where you thread the string to the bridge, all the way up a 25-inch scale, and then to a Fender string pick. So you really gotta. The Jazzmasters, I feel like, and most Fenders, you really gotta. Maybe a Tele or a Strat. Oh, Ryan Weatherman, what's going on, dude? You really don't get much room. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. So you really don't get much, if I didn't have locking tuners, the string wouldn't intonate well because I don't have enough wraps around the, I don't have enough wraps around the string post to get 2 to 3 clean wraps. All right, so I did my E string. Now I'm going to open my pack of. There's more modern chromes. I like the pack of 13s, and then on the E and B strings, what I do is I use a 14 and an 18. And what that does is because I tune my guitar to C and not E, gives it a little more tension. What is B me? I don't know. That's your prerogative, my man. So, a flat wound string, it's way different than a round wound. See, round wounds sound bright. Most recordings made in the past 60 years are with, most guitar recordings are with round wounds. But that mid-century, and I call it mid-century because in the 1920s they were using round wounds. And in the 30s and 40s, that's when they came up with flat rounds. And that's around the time when rock and roll was being invented. So a lot of these guitar players, they were mainly aimed at jazz players. You hear that dunk, clunk, gah, You can't really hear it, but it's way different than a round wound. Plus, when you hear it through an amp, it goes where a round wound will not go. So flat wounds are originally like the jazz guitar string. And then the early rock and roll players, particularly like the Elvis guy, Scotty Moore, Cliff Gallup, Dwayne Eddy, Mickey Baker, all those guys in the 50s used flat wounds. Not for any tonal reason, really, just because it was what they had. But when I hear recordings with flat wounds, the guitars sound better. The guitars, believe it or not, they sound more alive. And then flat wounds is also the string used in surf. Like Dick Dale used flat wounds on his Strat. That's a surf guitar sound. Hank Marvin used flat wounds on his Strat. The guys in the Ventures, you definitely hear it. Now on the later recordings, on the 64 recordings, yeah, those are round wounds. On that Moserite that they had. I like that tone. And that's a very gnarly tone. But when you hear those early Ventures tones, that plinkiness, I like the plinkiness of the guitar. And then through an amp, it really sounds different. Hard to quantify the sound because you don't really think about it too much. And then, of course, my favorite band of all time, the Beatles, John and George, they used flat wounds on their early stuff. Later stuff, I think maybe Rubber Soul or Revolver. I'm going to guess that by Revolver, everyone in that band was using round wounds other than Paul. Paul's bass tone is, especially in the Beatles. I don't know about like Silly Love Songs and whatnot. That might be round wounds. I'm pretty sure that is round wounds. Gotta clean this. But kind of like the dustiness, the gnarliness of these guitars. But definitely all the bass tones in the Beatles are flat wounds. Blue Fighter joined. What's going on, Blue Fighter? So, those early Beatles tones, the tones I really chased, the tones I'm like, with the Beatles, Please Please Me, Help. That riff in Help definitely sounds like flat wounds on the Strat. Which everyone thinks, oh, the Strat's, round wound guitar. Nah, Strat, you want those flat wounds. Nowhere man. And again, I like it too. One of the main reasons why I like flat wounds over rounds, it prevents guitar players. Hang on. Oscar, Tyler. So flat wounds prevents guitar players from playing too athletically or being too much of a lead player. Gee, does that sound like 3 guitar players that I just talked about to you? Mainly the Beatles. And the Beatles, they're really, George plays most of the leads. John played a few really memorable ones. Paul played a few really memorable ones. Taxman, Good Morning, Good Morning. But, it really, 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 really reinforces not being too athletic of a player. Because there's one thing I can't stand in players is lead guitar athleticism. When I hear that athletic playing, it just makes me cringe. It's like, don't you want to play music and not show off? Which people say to me, oh yeah, you're a show off. I saw something move like a black shadow. I don't know. But so really what, you know, plus I like the tone of flat wounds, and I also like how they make you play, how they feel under my fingers. If you're a lead player, right? You're playing, you know, lines to fill behind the singer. If you're a rhythm player, you're playing chords. You're trying to syncopate. Oh man, these strings are about to unravel. And on my telecaster. Ah, Jamie, Bloodbelly Blues. What's going on, dude? So, but when you're a rhythm player, you want that. Plus, don't you want to shift your tone to deeper? You can always crank the treble on your amp. You can crank the drive, but you can never replace that flat wounds have. It's just not there on round wounds. Some guitars sound good with round wounds. I have this one Firebird Equipped Telly that sounds better with round wounds, so I'm just gonna put on P90s and put on flat wounds because that combo sounds better. Again, I'm not huge on the round wound guitar, electric guitar. Acoustic, I had flat wounds on my acoustic. Stop playing. No, I'm not. And I didn't hear that higher quality of a difference as much as I heard it on my electrics. When you go from round wounds to flat wounds on electric, it's noticeable. Yet on acoustic, it's noticeable in a much worse way. It's like, because acoustic, you kind of want that zinginess. Whereas electric, these pickups are zingy. These pickups got a lot of mid-range to them. They have character. You don't need to promulgate more character from them. You just need to, you know, if anything, electric guitar is more about taming the beast than unleashing the beast. That's why I use so many pedals, so that I can get an overdrive, get it to sound like I'm cranking through my amp, and be able to play in a tap room like Old Tascosa Brewing, or like last night, I loved Tortuga Brewing. Wow. And I'm back there on May 17th. They are awesome. Hold on one moment, please. You're nuts. Yeah, Tortuga Brewing, that was a gem. I was not expecting that level of energy. It felt like it's one of the best breweries I played at. Right up there with Angry Troll Brewing. That's Walsenburg Crafty Canary's a really good one. What are some other ones? There's other breweries that I play. Idaho Falls Brewery. All these breweries I think are really, really great. You know, now, why you wouldn't want flat wounds is if you're playing. You look like yeah, I actually do go to the gym every single day. All right, now I got all the strings on to my Jazzmaster. clipped off the excess. Actually, not all the strings. I didn't do my B string. See, I know I bought extra B strings. Let me go to my acoustic guitar case. See if they're in there. I'm still here, guys. I'm just looking through my case to find an extra B string for my Jazzmaster. Again, I don't use all the strings in the same pack because I don't like to tune my I don't. And one thing, one thing to know about me is I don't like light tension on my guitars. I like the heaviest tension within reason. You know, obviously not bridge cable tension, but definitely heavier tension than your average player. Again, it's all for that tone. It's that tone that I like, the tone of here's my B string. It's like a early rock and roll. I'm not talking about early rock and roll. I'm not talking about 70s. Yeah, maybe a little bit of 70s. I love power pop, but power pop. Do I play basketball? No, I don't. When I go to the gym, I jog. I'm not looking to be Mr. Athletic. I jog, do push-ups, and use some of the weight machines. That's about it. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not trying to be Mr. Athlete. I'm trying just to be comfortable in my skin, which means lose weight, not be fat, not carry around excess weight. And you know, part of it is also not eating sugar, no starches. I have no bread. I never eat seed oils. I never drink alcohol. You know, I try to do healthy living because I am on tour, and the way it works, the way this tour works is the better I, and honestly my diet is, oh, thank you, Rods. God bless you too. Because the way it works is if you eat crap, you are what you eat. And I want to be comfortable. Plus, I don't want to look fat. I had a very well-known old man go to me once. He goes, "Look, fat, you and I both know who could do more push-ups, who could win the push-ups contest." Okay. Got the strings on my Jazzmaster, all 6 of them. Now, watch this. Whoa! Was not expecting that. Basically, I pulled pretty hard on these strings, so when I try to, put the tension on just to get them to detune enough. Whoa. Okay, something is clearly messed up with this string. And I got extras. Or all's not lost. I don't throw away strings. Be thrifty. I know these strings are only like $2, but it's $2 I don't have. No. Yeah, throw it away. You don't win on all these strings. Ivart Ed, what's going on, dude? So, when I yanked this string, it like, I don't know, maybe one of the windings came loose or something, who knows. But it won't hold tune, so I throw it away. There's that other one. In this case, I really got to start ordering from D'Addario packs of individual flat round strings and just the G and the B. Not the G and the B, I'm sorry, the D and the G from the 13 Chrome set. Ah, here's a brand new pack. Because if I always break those middle two strings. For some reason, I don't know why exactly. But when I do, I'm always replacing them in packs. I feel like I should not be spending $20 on a new pack when I have so many E's and A's. But not enough D's and G's. I live close enough to the D'Addario factory that I can probably do that. I'll save this B string for when I string up the telecaster in a bit. It's the other thing. I prefer to use D'Addario strings all the way around. Just because to my ears, they are better than Probably almost any of the brands. I could be wrong, but just what I feel. When my guitar has Diodario strings, it seems to stay tuned better, and each string just wants to behave better. So I really prefer Didarios over every other brand. Those are Ernie Balls. I mean, oh, it's happening again. All right, she's on there. Whoa. Okay, I see where it is now. Let's snip the end of the string off before it hooks someone. G. Put some tension on it so that let's get the D. The A. And the low E string. You hear that? Oh, you don't get that with round rounds. Then just pick the guitar up by the string. This usually does the string pulling for you. If you can pick it up by the string and nothing. Then with the A string, you should be able to pick up the guitar by the string. Then the D. Good, I'm picking up the guitar and kind of bouncing it. Patty P77, what's going on, dude? Then I do the same thing with the G. Pick the guitar up. Fat Hunk 7000. Then with the B string. Not like raising it, but you know, picking it up and bouncing it a little bit. And then finally the high E string. Not picking it all the way up, like it's not, it's still like kind of. All right, now it's time to tune. So just using a flat pick. You never see me use a flat pick on my guitars. And remember, when you're tuning, you tune up. If the string is sharp, you got to tune it flat, then sharp. And the reason for this is the whole tension thing. Because what you're doing is you're like wrapping it around the posts. You know, of your tuners. Man, that sounds so much better than how it sounds today. All right, now I just gotta grab my Allen wrench. Lower these posts by a hair. I'll show you guys how I do that, how I set the action on my guitars. What it's worth, it's, you know, it's nice to see what a touring musician does to keep their guitars in playing order. Because despite anything else, you know, let's face it, I'm not impressing anyone with my singing. I'm not impressing anyone with my drumming. And I am not that great of a booking agent that I can book shows for anyone else and think I'm going to make any more money if I can barely do it for myself. Wait, what is this, Capable Graveyard? That was good enough. Okay, so it's not in here. I wonder where it is. Sometimes not in here. In there. All right. I'll wait for my car tomorrow morning. But perfect. All right, this the Jazzmaster is done. Schedule a quick tweak on the action. Now let's work on the tele. Now here's the guitar that prompted me to do all this maintenance. I want to show you what should never be ever on a guitar. Because today I noticed the string was coming unraveled. And string comes unraveled, you really got to change it. Open pack with a G. Wow. Man, I gotta remember this. So G strings are in short supply and high demand. The highest demand, though, is always that D string. That D string to me is the first string to go always, and you gotta buy a whole new pack when it does go. But I am gonna make a pilgrimage to Bulgaria when I'm home to see if I can buy these strings individually. These are the round baritone strings. They're, you know, if I was going to use rounds, I would be using those. And I did. I started my baritone. This I got in telly. This one I got to take off all the strings. Now let me give you a history on this guitar. This guitar began life, the neck, in 2007 from Ritchie's, which is a shop in New York. DannyU.JJ, all right. Ritchie's is a shop in New York. I got hit to it by Simon Chartier. And, you know, Simon's a client, I'm a client. And the place is just awesome. Ritchie does necks, he builds guitars, and he also like he does really good setups. He does really good repairs. Well, that's the other thing I want to do. I want to get another string tree for this guitar. See, I'm a big fan of string trees. I like, you know, the two. I like having a string tree for my wow. See, that's one sounds good. You just one with the Bears. Where is home? I know I've been very dramatic lately. Home is Long Island for me. Oh yeah, this string is dead. So now look at how gnarly this fretboard looks. Look how dirty it is. I'm going to take some lemon oil. First I'm going to get these strings off my guitar. Now, that's the neck. And then, you know, I didn't know about locking tuners back in the day or how to make use of them. I knew about them, but I didn't think that they were for me. And then I learned how to use them. I was like, oh yeah, locking tuners. Like some guys really like strap locks, where I just like these little nylon nubs at the end of my guitar. All right. All the strings came out at once. Bundle them together. I just want to show you guys why I'm changing the strings on this all at once, all together. Press the YouTube is what I want for all you guys to subscribe to. That is the winding of the string coming unraveled. That's when the string goes out of tune. You can't get it to tune right. It breaks. There's none of that tone. There's none of that with the flat wounds. You want new-ish. I like to do it once a month. Your mileage may vary on flat wounds. With playing the amount of shows that I play, once a month is great. Any more than that, and I would be questioning myself, questioning my sanity, really. So, all right, so I got lemon oil. Right. I just go fret by fret, so. Now what I do is take a washcloth. You just work it in there. You work the grooves and divots off as best you can. I realize a lot of these are just from my playing. I play a lot, so naturally the guitar is going to get a lot of these grooves. If I didn't play, that's why when you see a lot of those 50s guitars, because this neck is nitrocellulose. When you see those 50s guitars, I'm like, oh, why do these guys have that much like wear on the neck? It's because of nitrocellulose. That's how they made guitars. That's what they use to finish guitars. I'm gonna guess I got maybe one more setup with these frets on it. These frets are worn. And a little more lemon oil. I'm gonna go fret by fret now. And the fourth fret. You know, I'm not in the cleanest of places when I play these venues. So, you know, no one is. Rock and roll isn't meant to be played in clean places. The very nature of it is dirty. It's gnarly. You play rock and roll in pubs. I play it in tap rooms. Which tap rooms, you know, they're not the cleanest either. Go fret by fret. Tap rooms are cleaner than dive bars, but you know, you should be so lucky to play tap rooms and dive bars. But guitar gets dirty, and man, I still need more lemon oil on the 6th fret. I must go to town on this fret. I know I do. See, my area of the guitar is the lower frets. Notice you don't have too much on the frets above the 12th fret, because I rarely play above the 12th fret. Andrew Thomas, what's going on, dude? So that's why you don't get much wear on my guitars above the 12th fret. I mean, this Tele neck came to me in 2007, so it's ancient. And then I took it off the guitar that I had back then. I had this white Tele with a Bigsby, 2 Tele-sized P90s. It was cool, but I have to tell you, I want the Tele pickups. These pickups sound great. To me, they're like a little bit, non-focused, which kind of enhances the music a little bit. It sounds almost like if you ever played a 50s harmony or K, it sounds less biting and Tele-like and more, Alan Valdez setting up my guitars tonight. So, we had an awesome show Wednesday in Lubbock. And basically, so that was the neck. And then the pickups were wound by Chris Morrell. Very low output pickups. And this is probably why it sounds more like an old harmony. Not the electro. And not like the gold foil pickups. They don't sound like gold foils to me. They sound more just like, like pickups from one of those old Silvertone, guitars. It's the best way I can describe. Hey, what's going on with you? Just maintaining my guitars, cleaning my fretboards, and showing the fine folks of YouTube and Instagram how I do it. So, NH, what's going on, dude? So, I try to get to them once a month like this, but lately I don't really like spending time in hotel rooms. Except this week when I can find deals. Amarillo has deals on hotels. And I like mirror pick guards. So, man, crap is coming off this guitar. All this crud. Alan, you work at a guitar shop, so you know what I'm talking about when these guitars and fretboards just get disgusting. You got lemon oil these fretboards. And it does look like it wears some finish away too, some of the nitrocellulose. Your Tele's got a mirror pick guard. Hell yeah, OP King joined. All right. To me, mirror pick guards are the best because I have this light show going, and I love just wow. I love just being able to reflect it off and be able to mess with members of the audience. Alan knows I just played with him on Wednesday night. We played a show, Red Zone Sports Bar. We're doing some more shows in August. I come out this way in May. I have to see what's going on because, again, Tortuga Brewing, the best gig I had this weekend. Jeff Buckley. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jeff Buckley is awesome. I love his chords. I love his songwriting. Everything about him. You know what? I might put on that Grace album. Now that you mentioned Jeff Buckley, it's. Oh, where do I buy picks? Okay, so I like the Black Mountain thumb picks, the heavy gauge, the ones with the red, not the ones with the black. So I buy them. There's boutique shops. There's a few shops, scattered out. If I had to buy them direct, I'd buy them direct, but I really don't want them. Then the other picks are just the metal banjo picks. I don't. I like the heavier gauge, not the heaviest gauge, but the heavier gauge, like the .2s, the .22s. I feel like the heavier you get, the brighter they get on the strings. And anyone who knows me knows I don't really like to dial in too bright of a tone. I used to. Arkham's days, when Johnny and I were playing in the Arkhams, just to differentiate, I would always dial in the brighter and the more spoopy of the two tones. Now, just by nature, because I always use single coils. He actually used single coils too, but he was using a lot of those Diarmonds and the Firebird pickups. So his were always a little bit more mid-rangey than me. Which is great, because I like it when the other guitar player gets active and you really hear it. You really hear the detail of his notes, and you also, you hear the body when he plays. Especially Johnny. Especially Johnny. I think one more coat should do it. Need some what? Lemon oil for your guitar? Go to any Walmart. Spend $5 and get lemon oil. It's not expensive. Just to let it seep into the upper frets. Now it looks like it's coming off. Oh yeah, look at that. You'll see my rag in a second. Whew. This is harder than I thought. You know what? My guitar will be nicely intonated, not pulled sharp or flat, new strings, and a clean fretboard, because that does make a difference. I don't know what difference it makes having a clean fretboard versus having a gnarly, dirty fretboard. I don't know how you call it. But it's nicer to have clean frets. Man, this picker I got in July, it's already like breaking in. There you go. Oh, cool. The hell is sketchy. That's a funny name. The hell is sketchy. Whew. Alright, same deal now with the Jazzmaster. You just string it one at a time. And you pull till it's in tune. Till it stops going out of tune. Send it the string tree. I'm definitely going to buy a new string tree when I get back to New York. There. And just, I'll show you in a second. By comparison, Remember I said the Jazzmaster is a very long guitar, it has an extra bridge length and the Fender neck tuner length, which is not short. Gibson has 3 on the side, so you have less string up there. The Fender, the 3 top strings, woo! That is some distance on that neck. Not perfect, but it'll do. The hell is sketchy? What's going on, dude? Ends off. I know some guys like to keep the ends of the strings on the guitars. I am not one of those people. I think having ends on strings like that what did I do? Having those big ends on strings like that but to me, no, it's messy, so I don't like that. I definitely gotta go up buy more packs of strings. That is damn for sure. Wow, all these packs have G strings on them. You want to see an ancient pack of strings. Finally. Coming into the home stretches. So remember, I don't like these two, so I just put them back in the pack of strings. I don't like the E and B string. 13 and 17 don't have enough tension on my guitars with the others. It's funny because 13 gauge flat ones have more tension on them than the baritone strings do. You'll definitely feel that in your fingers if you play them. And again, part of my whole reasoning behind liking flat wounds and not round wounds. I'd be richer if I liked round wounds. Because they're half the price per pack. Not even. Flat wounds got a whole process where they polish them. I don't think by hand. I think by machine. Still, you know, a polished string. Gee. But again, the tone that you get out of flat wounds is way better. And everyone thinks that those bright early rock and roll sounds are with the brightest possible string, but they're not. Because round wounds, what it is, it's a bright string, all right. But it doesn't have character. Flat wounds got character. They got personality. They got... You'll see. If you ever play flat wounds, you'll know. They sing with authority. All right, get them up to a pitch. Snip off the ends. And the last two strings, my E and A string. So now, thread them through the back. I love that about a telecaster. You just feed the string through the back and you be on with it. Jazzmaster I like too. I like the top, feed through the top. And I'm growing to learn how to make the Strat really work, really sing. Flat wounds. Low output pickups. Fuzz. Did you know that whenever I play my electric guitar, my fuzz pedal is on the whole time? That's because it's a fuzz face and it cleans up beautifully. Whereas if I was to just use, say, a big muff or even a tone bender. I like tone benders. I like the sound of tone benders more than I like the sound of fuzz faces. If I was to use a big muff, you roll back the guitar, you don't really get a tonal enhancer. You just get like, what? Why am I hearing this like ragged, half-baked tone? And the reason why is because a fuzz face, what it does, it's supposed to clean up. The fuzz face cleans up the nicest. Not only that, not only does it clean up the nicest, I could care less about that. The clean tone it imparts, it gives it a certain... Oh, you too, Alan. So, like, it gives it a certain... This is all my single coil guitars. Pretty much all my guitars. Meaning my Fenders, my Jazzmaster with Dynasonics. P90s, I have P90 guitars, but they're not set up like this. When I get home, and if I can finagle it, I will set up my Firebird Telly with P90s, just because I want to make that work. It's a really cool guitar, and I want to, I just don't love those pickups. Thought I would, that's why I got them, but once I learned my setup, it's like I had a Les Paul, You know, a 59 reissue, not the real one. Epiphone Les Paul 59. And I used it. I got when I had a shit ton of money coming in. I could just, any day I want, go to the store and buy one. But those days are over because back then I owned a cab company, and now I'm a touring musician. So I took a 99% pay cut. Partying next door. Two more, then I retune it. I sign off for the night. Now you hear the sound I'm talking about. Detroit Street Rare and Day Jobs Punk. All right. Now let's retune it. Again, always tune up, never tune down. Like this is, the strings were a little bit sharp. So I tune them down first, then I tune up. Rings like a bell. I'll hold it up to the camera so you. What's new? What's going on? Alright, my guitars are tuned up, and I am signing off for the night. Thanks everyone for tuning in.